What's up, world? I go by DJ Ollie Red, and you are now tuned into a brand new episode of the All Things House podcast. So during these trying times, it's all about adapting or overcoming. I know that a lot of past episodes have been, I have the guests inside studios and do a guest mix, but like I said, it's all about adapting and overcoming. So now for the next couple episodes, it's going to be pretty much Zoom episodes. That being said, we got a very special guest in the building today via online. Yeah. He is a record producer, DJ, just an all-around music head. Obviously, he'll explain more about that. But GBoH, what's up, bro? How you doing, bro?
What's good, Ollie Red, man? Appreciate you having me, bro.
For sure, man. Let's get right into it. So
let's get it.
So explain to everybody kind of the beginnings of your music journey, if you could.
So my music journey kind of started in high school for me. Okay. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I had a friend who was a rapper, and I just kind of was like watching him on FL Studio making records, and you know, somehow, some way, a couple of years later, I ended up like recording and mixing his first project before I did any like real engineering stuff, and that kind of just kind of struck me in this direction.
Yeah, nice. So in the beginning, once you found that kind of that piqued your interest, kind of was that kind of your first like angle and stuff, or like did you progress from there? Like what was the next step from there?
No, it wasn't. I actually recorded this project for him. I went to college. I went to Arizona State.
Okay.
And I went to school first for graphic design, and then I switched to accounting. Okay. And then I realized while I was doing all this stuff, I was spending more time on my MacBook on, you know, Logic, recording and mixing my own stuff and putting out songs. And I was like, okay, you know what? I need to do this full time. Like this is my thing. This is what I want to do. Everything else was like secondary. Mm-hmm. So I ended up coming back home. I went to like a JUCO for a little bit, was taking like piano classes. Okay. And then I went to recording school after that.
Okay. So when you found that passion, it was like kind of organic thing, right? It wasn't forced or anything like that, right?
No, it just felt right. It was like everything just gravitated towards music for me.
Towards music.
To the point where like everything else became secondary.
Was it any specific genre at that time, or was it just anything you found that was dope you tried to do?
So when I was producing, it was mainly like, it was that weird period because it was between like the regular like hip hop sample drum sound and the trap drum sound. So I was kind of going between the two. So that's kind of how I started. Like I started mainly on the hip hop side of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So as far as that, when you got back from college and then kind of went to the JUCO, did you have any like mentors in a way, or did you kind of stumble upon like YouTube videos and kind of go there?
For me, it was kind of like, it was like all like imitating. So like I would find like, I was like a big Ryan Leslie fan back in the day.
Okay.
Like to the point where like for a minute, I wasn't even quantizing records. So I was like, this whole feel of everything feels amazing. I was like, okay, I got to do this. So it was just mainly like looking at my idols and trying to do what I do. Mm-hmm. Like the way they're doing what they're doing, essentially, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So can you take us through the whole journey with the whole like recording school?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it's kind of a thing for me where when I got back from college, I was actually a promoter in Hollywood for a little bit too. Okay. So I was doing that while going to recording school. So I was meeting people in the scene, trying to get as many sessions as I could and whatever. And I met a good friend of mine. He brought me into a studio session where I've been doing things at home kind of my own way, but he brought me in, showed me like, oh, this is how it really works. And then I ended up just working and doing stuff for him while I was in recording school. And then a week before my last semester, because I didn't end up finishing, I went to this studio and did like a few sessions for him. And then a week later, they were like, yo, we want to hire you. So I kind of avoided the whole, interning for 4 or 5 years that most engineers go through to get, one position. And then I just ended up running a studio for like the next 2 years after that.
Yeah. So can you speak on the importance of kind of, having, small goals, and then those small goals turn into to big goals? Because obviously everybody wants to get on right away, but there's obviously levels to this shit, So can you speak to the importance of, kind of starting from the bottom and then now we're here type deal?
Yeah, man, they say that overnight success are really like 15-year stories, and that's facts. Like, I mean, for me, it started with just a couple of my boys in high school, and I was just taking on their projects, recording, mixing, trial and error, learning, went to recording school, to the point where like my first, major session was with Pooh Bear. And if you know who Pooh Bear is, he writes like all the Justin Bieber stuff. Like, so like I just, my preparation and I guess just me being a solid person, that's what people tell me. I never like to talk about myself, but people tell me that just kind of got me to that position. Yeah.
Usually what I find out that good things usually happen to good people, and also it's kind of, you got to be in the right place at the right times. So if you have those and with a little bit of luck too, if you had those three factors, kind of sky's the limit,
Yeah, and I'll say this too, like, yes, you can be the dopest person in the world, nobody will hear about you, but you kind of, I mean, I know everything is kind of weird right now with what's going on in the world, but networking is huge.
Yes, for sure.
Networking is huge. You cannot be the greatest person, producer, engineer in the world, but people, if you're a good person or the right amount of people, you'll get through certain doors. So just network, be a solid person, and just be patient. Things will happen.
Yeah, I know. So some of the speaking about networking, I know obviously with the whole Corona thing, it's networking is basically online. Can you explain some of the techniques you did prior Corona, and then kind of some of the techniques that you're going through now?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the sessions I got realistically was just like being in a room with somebody, just having a conversation, exchanging numbers. You exchange an Instagram. I mean, I've only realistically, when it comes to like mixing records and engineering sessions, I've only gotten like 3 things just based off who I was online.
Okay.
But like actually being in the room and meeting people, that got me many places. Like, I mean, there's a studio called Electric Phil that's also run by 300 Records off of Sunset in LA. And I went there with one of my artists I worked with, and then I ended up meeting the owner and other people and interns. And then from there, they just started booking me in the studio, Yeah. So it's like, having good connections with people, you go places with people, you meet more people. That's how it works. That's the best way.
That right place, right time factor, man. That's one of those things for sure, man. Because I personally, I've met a lot of people going out, but it's also come down to you got to go out, shake hands, kiss babies, be and then be genuine with people. Just don't try to meet people just because you want them to give you something. You know what I mean? It has to be like an organic meeting.
Yeah, man. Especially on the hip-hop side, and I'm even noticing this on the electronic side.
Yeah.
The people who grow together have been friends and families for years. It's not just like, oh, I like them because they do this. It's like, no, like we get together and we sometimes forget to do music.
Exactly. Like, just chill out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. All right, so let's kind of get back to the music. So you got it picked up with that the one studio, more bookings. When was the transition between your career going like the hip hop R&B side to the more house side?
So it was kind of like a little bit of more of a transition, like a real couple of years where I got out of that studio position. It kind of ended well. It was like my everything at the time. And then it's funny, one of our NoyzNtheHood boys, Brett, like we used to work together and do stuff for like this old agency too. And him and a friend were like, yo, we're going to Coachella. You should come with us. And I remember going, and the first thing I saw was I somehow walked past the Sahara tent. If you know about the festivals, the Sahara tent, this is before it was turned sideways. This was back when it was the horizontal way. I saw Martin Solvin perform that song, Hello, that was big a couple of years ago in front of like 80,000 people. And then instantly I was like, whoa, like, what is this? This is incredible. Like the power of this music and the way it feels and how happy people were. Because as much as I love hip hop and grew up on it, sometimes it has a lot of negative energy in it and a lot of negative vibes. And, I just started to like gravitate away from that. So it was like slowly like, all right, I'm loving this more. It went from me just playing hip hop records of now trying to produce things and only sticking to 4 on the floor beat patterns to the point now where like literally all I listen to is like techno, tech house, dub techno, like deep house, things like that. And I couldn't even tell you the latest, hottest rap record right now.
Me neither, really, man. Me neither. So that's what. So it's hard to explain when people ask me what is house music, and I say house music is a feeling. That's right. The best way I can describe it. It's just when you're inside the club or the bar or a festival, whatever. It like that kick and those drums and everything just takes over your body, and it's just like it's kind of almost an out of body experience, you know, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt the first time I went to the Yuma tent at Coachella. I mean, like I'm more of a techno guy. I love house too. Like house is my. I love house. Mm-hmm. But I just remember the feeling of those like bass lines and kicks hitting my chest, and realistically, I walked in, I was like, it's all right. And then I looked up like 15 minutes later, and I'm dancing harder than everybody in the room. And I'm just like, okay, this is incredible. Like,
for sure. So you said that the techno aspect of the house. So I considered house music the umbrella, and then everything kind of falls on it right there. Mm-hmm. So techno is your main source of energy, right? Music wise. Can you? I know you mentioned how you walked into the tent and then that was kind of the genre playing right now or playing then. Mm-hmm. Can you describe from that point what was the next step from there? Either was it DJing music, or was it production, or was it kind of all in one, or was it going back and doing research on what you heard?
The next step was just finding who these people were and just deep diving into their catalogs. And I was a fan of it before I started like actually really producing it and DJing it.
Okay.
It got to the point where, I went through like a big change in my life where like I was like really deep down, depressed. I had like a really good job working for this marketing agency, doing a bunch of stuff with like Nike and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I like went plant-based, got my life together, lost a bunch of weight. And I was like, I had to really think about what makes me the happiest in this world, and just being in those environments with my friends, dancing to this music. And I haven't turned back ever since.
For sure. Can you? Yeah. That's a good thing you brought up about the true happiness, the mind, body, and soul. If those things, the mind, body, and soul aren't connected, if there's little speed bumps in one going to another, like you're not going to be whole. Can you explain it? And I like you mentioned, the whole plant-based diet and stuff like that. Can you explain how that kind of intertwined into the music as well?
Yeah, it's honestly, being plant-based and everything I do, the natural supplements, only drinking water, no alcohol. I know how big it is in the festival world, doing all the drugs and stuff like that. Like I stopped doing all those completely. Yeah. It just helped me feel one with the music more and the vibrations, and I'm not like second guessing myself when I do stuff now. Sure. It just feels natural. It's like everything feels connected. Mm-hmm.
And how did that work, or how did that change your outlook on life? Because I know you say that you were kind of depressed, down in the dumps a little bit.
Yeah.
How did that? Can that one change your life? Did that change kind of everything?
It was like the genesis of it.
Okay.
Because it was, for one, like, okay, I did this. I debunked a bunch of lies I've been told my whole life about dieting and different things like that. Yeah. And then also the notion of being black and having, or black, I put that in quotes, so I'll go into that maybe later. Yeah. The whole notion of you have to do this because it's black music, but then you start realizing that, house was starting in Detroit, and, at the warehouse where they were, no matter what color, race, sex you were, it was there to escape and just enjoy the music. Sure. Same with Detroit techno in Detroit. Yeah. It was started by, the Belleville 3, I can go into that later too. And it was just the vibe they had, the energy, the music, it just felt right.
For sure. 1,000%. And that's what gave me a chance, because I understood, because I'm from Jersey, so there's always this big debate who started house music first, either New York or Chicago. I'm always going to go New York because I'm from the area. But it's right. Our arguments both sides. But it gave me this time right here during the whole COVID thing. It's giving me a time to go back and relearn the history, because that history is my history, is our history. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
You know, sometimes within history, things are taken, reprocessed, and rebranded to something that it was not even close to being true. You know what I mean?
Man.
And that's how kind of. Go ahead, my bad. You go ahead.
Nah, that's a whole other topic for another podcast, right?
Yeah,
there. You're spot on, bro. You're spot on.
Yeah. So that, like I said, it gave me a chance to go back and kind of learn the in and outs of the beginning of it. Now, how did you go on a type of musical history journey like that too as well?
Yeah, I did. I kind of start tracing it back, and you know, you always associate like techno with like Germany, of course.
Yeah.
But then once you start doing your research and you're like, oh, well, this actually started in Detroit.
Yeah.
And for me, like my grandfather, he played for the Funk Brothers of Motown.
Oh,
Plays
okay.
trombone player. George Bohannon played on Earth, Wind and Fire. Aretha Franklin got legit platinum plaques that I have touched with legends, you know.
Damn.
And then learning like, okay, my dad's side of the family, my grandfather's all from Detroit. I was like, oh shoot. And then I just instantly just started loving the music too after I found out about that as well. And it just kind of connected for me.
Yeah. So you got actually bloodlines to the music basically.
Yeah, like some people call it like the second generation or whatever it is, but I have like real deep bloodlines in the music business.
For sure. So it was like a techno thing. You were engraved in a techno thing before you even knew about it, huh?
Before I even knew it. And even like a lot of my early hip hop beats, like my friends would be like, yo, your stuff sounds super like electronic-y. Oh, just feels good. Like I was doing it without even realizing it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So we went over kind of the beginnings of it. So what was the next step of that? Like, so you say you did some history on it. As for, the tracks wise and production wise, you said it took maybe 2 years after actually the initial learning of it. What kind of next in the whole process?
The next thing for me was just like saying, I'm going to do this.
Okay. Yeah.
And then deciding like I got my like my first DJ controller, a little over a year and a half ago, and I just like sat down and just learned it, and then studied the music more. And then the thing about this COVID thing is like, since things have been slowing down, I haven't been moving around as much. I've been able to like really get like my production stuff back, because like one of my computers crashed. I didn't have the money.
Okay.
But now like everything's like good to go, to the point where like, all right, I'm ready to like push this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's time.
As far as the process of production, right? Can you explain to the crowd or the audience like what kind of is when you get an idea? Can you explain from the idea to the finished product, or close to the finished product? Like like what DAW do you use and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, so I'm using Ableton, which is like a pretty standard thing now.
Yeah.
For me, it starts with the kick.
Okay.
Like I love Ableton's little like tuner, so I'll go in and just throw a kick in, do like a 32 bar loop, because most techno records, if you listen, it's like in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'll go in and I'll just find, a note or a key, or the key of the kick I want to go into. Then I'll start with my percussion. And then I'll just kind of take it from there. So it starts with the drums for me.
Okay. Me personally, if whatever genre or whatever, falls under the house music umbrella, I'm big into vocals. If it's whatever vocals it is, how do you feel about adding the vocals?
I love when at least for me, in my own music, I think of the vocal as more like another hi-hat or a percussion piece, or even like a melody. I mean, like if I do like a more melodic techno stuff, I will reach out to more vocalists, which I have some ideas that I'm going to start working on for that.
Okay.
But like mainly for like my like hardcore, deeper stuff, I may take like a vocal sample and chop it to make it sound more melodic, not necessarily something so audible to be heard, but something that just makes you move a certain way.
Exactly.
That's how I look at more vocals for certain styles and stuff.
Yeah. So also with the whole the production aspect of it, Do you have not anything coming out soon, but are you working on anything that's going to be hit the streets here soon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably about realistically like a month and a half out from dropping something.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna narrow it down to about 5 records. Probably do a couple different like genres of techno. Probably just do like hardcore, industrial, maybe a melodic joint, dub techno, maybe like an underground joint like that, just to kind of give people a variety of everything. Because
for sure,
and even kind of where I'm at with it, like you know how it might be. You might drop like 3 records and people gravitate towards one, and then you kind of know where your fan base kind of lies at right now.
Exactly.
And like realistically, if I do this, I might have when the world opens back up, I might do a show in Belgium and then do something in Jamaica based off of the range of stuff I could do.
For sure. For sure.
And that's one thing too, like that's one reason why I kind of gravitated away from engineering also, is because like the music I do, I want it to take me places.
Yeah.
Like no matter what I did as an engineer, I will always end up back in the studio. And that just, no matter how much I loved it, it just never sat right with me when I really thought about it like that.
Yeah. Also, okay, so getting back to I like what you said right there. So getting back to the engineering aspect of it, can you see, obviously there's a difference on like what you do, but has the engineering helped your sound now? Maybe you hear things a little different? Because what I understand, and what I kind of hear is my consumer ears are different than my DJ ears, and my DJ ears are different than my production ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing engineering taught me is to listen to music in parts and not as a whole.
Yeah.
And so, even when you're producing, like, you may know, like, how do I put it? When you create, you kind of try to avoid things overlapping in frequencies.
Yeah.
So when I create now, I think about things like that, so I don't have to do as much mixing or EQing at the end. So I'm, certain melodies I play high, bass lines I'll play lower. All my hi-hats are right in the middle, or like if I do a vocal sample, I'll make sure it's like felt and not overlapping with like synths, or take enough at the low end for bass and stuff like that. So that just helped me know what to do like right away.
Facts, right? The learning curve was shortened because you had experience.
Yeah. Then I mean, a lot of the techniques are essentially the same. Like if you want something up front, you parallel compress it, or you just want to get rid of a frequency, you roll it off. It's a lot of the same stuff.
Hell yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. So next, we'll kind of talk about. So me and you, we've met recently, last month, 2 months. Through our boys Brett and Mark. It's a all black DJ production festival throwing, just a group of solid guys. NoyzNtheHood. That's where we met. Can you explain kind of? We've had Mark and Brett on before, and they kind of explained the whole the umbrella of the NoyzNtheHood. But can you explain how you met everybody and how you kind of fit into the role right there?
Yeah. So Mark and Dre, we actually met at the first studio I was running. It was at Sound City. I don't know if you know the history of Sound City Studios, but that's where Kiss recorded their like first project out. I got like a video with the original album artwork.
Oh shit.
The same room I worked in is the room where that old original Neve console that was like really big back in the time.
Okay.
But I met Mark and Dre there, and it wasn't even like a full-on conversation. It was like passing, and realistically, I did so much I didn't really remember. So I really was like, okay, we did meet such and such, and and then with Brett and I worked together for on and off for like 4 or 5 years. While he was like getting his like DJ stuff rolling for like this marketing agency and a lot of stuff with Nike that we were doing. And a lot of the other guys have been just like through them. So yeah, me and Brett go back like years. Like that's
nice.
That's my guy. Yeah, we got stories that we'll never talk about.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah. So kind of you want to go over like the whole premise, like so. The way that I was introduced to it was more of a collective. It was more of a fellowship, friendship, brotherhood. Lean on my shoulder if you need me. It's a we do once a week Zoom meetings. Can you explain can you explain how it felt to find other people, because it's not a lot of people that look like us doing this right now.
Right. It's like very rare, unfortunately.
Very, very rare. Can you explain to everybody how it felt to, connect with or organic, because everything is, not word of mouth, but hey, I know you, so you know him, so we're all cool type deal.
Yeah, no, it feels really good to have like-minded people on the same path as you. And it's different than like other music groups I've been a part of in the past, because it's kind of like it felt more like I was working for them than like I'm helping lead something.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference. If I need to holler at somebody for an idea or bounce something off, or they'll hit me up, it's like no it's just all for good. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like we just want to help each other out, get to the next level, and we all essentially want the same thing, whether it's all house music, all techno, or open source, as the joke goes in the chat.
Word.
But we just want the best for everybody, so it just feels good to be a part of something like that.
For sure, man. That's the thing I wanted to mention. Like it just feels good to be around people that, like I said, like-minded, people that look like you. Because I never feel uncomfortable going anywhere at all. But
same.
Just to know that, you have a group that stands behind you, and you won't get a weird look for a weird look walking into the room. Yeah, that's that feeling is great.
Yeah, most definitely. And we got some plans going on as soon as we get some things opening up. It's time to go.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. So at this point, I like to give the guest opportunity to speak on any upcoming things coming on, and also I want to give them opportunity to shout out their Instagram names, SoundClouds, upcoming events, all that stuff right here. So the floor is yours, my man. All
right. So on the NoyzNtheHood standpoint, we got something in the works. So you guys make sure you follow the Instagram Noyz, NOYZ in the hood. You can follow me on Instagram _GBoH, GBoH _. And make sure you follow our Twitch too, because I'm about to start going on there live and, doing some more DJ sets and, probably some of my like alkaline cooking meals that I do too. So help get the world right. One planet at a time,
Word. Hell yeah, bro. All right, man. Yo, thank you for coming to All Things House podcast, man. It was a great interview. And yeah, we'll be talking about for sure.
Most definitely, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Peace.